Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the Spiral Abyss has just recently reset. Now, if I'm being entirely honest, this might be one of my least favorite abysses in a long time. I do not think it's a particularly easy one with some of the enemy lineups and stuff, as well as mechanics. But with that being said, we have to go ahead and try our brand new FLINS. Of course, this is the first abyss since FLINS' release. Or first abyss reset since FLINS' release, so you know we have to go ahead and use our boy here. So for the first off, we're going to go ahead and go for an Alhaitham Hyper Bloom / Quick Bloom team alongside Xingqiu, Baizhu, as well as Kuki. Now it should be noted that this first half buff only increases Bloom and Lunar Bloom damage instead of Hyper Bloom. However, he will benefit from the danger related true damage buff we do have for the abyss in general. And then on the second half will be where we'll be using our boy FLINS alongside our Aino, Ineffa, as well as Sucrose. Now, of course, FLINS will be benefiting from the second half buff. Now, his talents aren't fully maxed out, but that won't fully make up for the fact that, you know, this is currently in play. So do keep in mind that his performance will be slightly inflated. All 5-star units here are C0, but full character builds will be at the end. With that being said, let's just hop right into things. But real quick, if you want to pull any Notcry characters or beyond, then I have a perfect thing for you, and that's a sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use lootbar to top up in your favorite games like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail and save up to 25% with special great value offers such as the all-in-one bundle and the 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack, which now applies on Xbox and PS5 as well. Lootbar leverages favorable exchange rates and uses Hoyoverse partner ads so you can get the most affordable prices and the same top-up bonuses you would in-game. Thanks to the Genshin anniversary with Notcry's release and the top-up bonus refresh, this means you can also receive double on your first purchase on Lootbar. Lootbar is safe, simple and secure as you only need to enter your UID and region in order to get fast delivery. When I decided to buy one of my friends a Welcome Moon, all I had to do was enter in their UID and region and I received the purchase in literally less than 10 seconds. Creators like DuckTV and Jello Impact are also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy, and they also have thousands of positive reviews on Trustpilot, and I've used it myself before, so I can vouch for the authenticity and speed. New users also get 10% off, so be sure to check out Lootbar using the link below. Thank you to Lootbar, and back to the video. Alright, well then here we are on the first chamber with our Alhaitham team. We're just going to go ahead and grab a burst buff. It doesn't really do much for either side, I think. I'm pretty sure most of FLINS' damage counts as charge damage and is not affected by ultimate buffs, but I might be mistaken on that rather, so I'll take it just in case. And even then, I guess Alhaitham's damage does do some okay, Alhaitham's ult does do some okay damage, especially if you're able to quicken it. Anyway, that's our first rotation done. Let's just go ahead and just pop into the second one. Go ahead and ult on our Alhaitham as well. Okay, never mind, his ult doesn't do too much damage when there's 0 stacks on. I remember when Alhaitham was first coming out, there were debates whether you could have like 2 playstyles on him. One where you're using his ult to damage and he's a bit more quick swappy, or one where you're just using him off field. Not sure how that ended up developing. I feel like most people just use him as an on-fielder. Anyway, go ahead and just use our Xingqiu skill there and back into the Alhaitham ult. So this is basically, we basically one-cycled every enemy here, although to be fair I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. Okay, it's like 3.5 rotations we're gonna end up needing. We don't need to do a full rotation here. Actually, this is even better for us because it allows us to get all of our ultimates up. Actually, I don't think I even needed to do that. I think I could have just used it. I definitely could have killed that with just quicken damage from Alhaitham, but oh well. Okay, slightly awkward, but I still think we funneled quite a bit of energy into Xingqiu, so he might have his ult for the next half anyway. Okay, well, moving on to this guy. Okay, I find this enemy to look so funny because he just looks like a regular guy, but instead he's an abyss boss, which is interesting, I guess. Anyway, we're just gonna EQE, and for the aura, we're just gonna go ahead and use FLINS' ultimate there, do some nice big hits. The thing is, we don't have any energy recharge on our FLINS. I think we should be able to scrape all of the E and Qs. Okay, never mind, we missed out on one Q. Slightly awkward. Normally I hit those, but although that's probably a bit more in AoE, so I guess that would make sense. Anyway, we go ahead and finish his first phase. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie though, I think the enemies in this Spiral Abyss are some of the worst ever. At the beginning, I thought that some of the Lunar Charge mechanics weren't as bad as Notcry's Night Soul mechanics, but now I take it back, and I think Night Soul actually might have been better than some of this stuff we're getting here, because some of the enemies, especially later on, are going to be very annoying to deal with. But anyway, with that being said, let's just move on to the second chamber, which is maybe the most chill of the bunch in my opinion. Alright, and here we are on the second chamber now. Again, no good buff, so I guess we just have to take the ult damage one. Gonna go ahead and just funnel a bit into our Xingqiu. Okay, he still doesn't have his ultimate. Okay, and he still doesn't have his ultimate up. Did we get the 5 particles from Baizhu? No, we didn't. Okay, well, now we did. Honestly, I'm not even gonna bother using oh, never mind. Our ult, all our energy just got sapped. Okay. Slightly annoying. Although this boss is annoying, I don't think he is that bad compared to some of the other ones we've seen in, first of all, other abysses, and second of all, this current abyss, because like I said, this is one of my least favorite abysses when it comes to enemy lineup. Like I said, I do think the second chamber is probably the chillest of the bunch, at least in my opinion. Luckily, we do have all of our ults up now, so that's the nice thing about this guy. At least he's nice enough to give us all of our ultimates back. Go ahead and apply. Okay, our ultimate did not apply as much danger as I thought it would, but luckily this guy recharges all of our ults and we're about to take him out in 1 minute. Now admittedly, I don't think this is the most free-to-play friendly builds this I'm using right now. Oh, sorry, well, I mean, technically, we are using a gotcha weapon on on Alhaitham. We are using C0R0's weapon, just because this abyss is so annoying that I couldn't be bothered in using something else. And then we are using technically a C0R0 FLINS, because this is a weapon you can get off the standard banner. Although, see, no, I was going to run him on the craftable, but then this abyss was annoying me so much with all of the bosses that I just switched to Jadewing Spear. Although it's only an 8% damage increase, I couldn't be asked missing a clear by like 2 seconds, so I just decided to go ahead and go all out. To be fair, our FLINS doesn't have his talents fully maxed out, just because I don't like maxing out a character's talents until they kind of stop shilling the character in the abyss, and that's normally when I go ahead and max out their talents. We did miss a few small bursts as well, I think, here because of our energy, so now just because we have a bit of time, I just want to conserve a bit of energy on FLINS, like so, and there we go. Okay, perfect. And that's the second chamber clear, probably the easiest one yet. And now we're gonna go into chamber 3, which might be one of my least favorite chamber 3s in a very, very long time, at least since the Papilla days. Woohoo. Alright, now time for the third and final chamber, and we get a third burst damage buff. Wow, it would have been lovely if I was using a move weaker, but we couldn't just because of how restrictive this current abyss is. You know, you really want Electro Lunar Charge on the second half, and then you really want Bloom on the first half, or at least Dendro. Now the reason why I am using such high investment on my characters to clear this, higher than I normally would, is just because this boss is so annoying. Originally I was using Farina and then Alhaitham on the Umbrella event weapon, and then I was using FLINS on the craftable, but because Farina's damage, because Farina's Hydro application is so random, I just decided to go for Xingqiu instead, but this ends up being a damage loss, which is why I went for high investment in my characters. I did just do the tech where you use Alhaitham's ult and then switch to Kuki E quickly, just to save a little bit of time in the rotation, because we really need to min-max some of our damage here, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, this boss, first of all, incredibly tanky, second of all, incredibly annoying stall mechanic, and it's just really annoying, I'm not gonna lie. This boss feels so RNG. Now, of course, if you have Lunar Bloom, then it becomes easy as heck. Probably if you have Ineffa as well, it's gonna be easy. If you have Nilu, actually, I'm not sure if it's gonna be easier with Nilu, because Nilu is very AoE damage, which I'm not gonna lie, I think the whole reason why they added these things which does damage is only for Nilu, just to improve her single target damage. I can't prove it, but that is definitely my theory. And then, you know, then there's just a bunch of Lunar Shard stuff on the on the second half, which is just really annoying if you don't have Ineffa or FLINS. You know, if you have at least one of them, then you're definitely chilling on the second half, because I don't think it's that difficult. But if you don't have any of them, then it's less chill. So yeah, this feels like one of the most restrictive abysses in a long time. Okay, I missed our second Xingqiu E there, which is gonna mess up our time a little bit if we can't get the ultimate off soon. So we're gonna have to, okay, now we get to pop it, but then we also lost our Kuki E, so yeah, we definitely lost some time there just by missing just that little bit of energy, which is not ideal. We're gonna be able to clear her, although it will be about a 2-minute clear, and this is the exact reason why I decided to put FLINS on Jadewing Spear, because of the damage loss on the first half, meaning that we need to clear this final chamber even quicker, which is why I went for Jadewing Spear. Honestly, I could still probably clear it with the craftable, it's just I honestly can't be bothered resetting anymore, so I'm just not gonna go ahead and do that. And go ahead and get our E back, and then the mini ult, do some nice big hits here. go ahead and just refresh our rotation as well. I do love how it feels to play Flins. It is just very, very clean. Go ahead and swell, and then also 192k, 294k, a nice 73k there as well. And then on the skill, I think we saw another 70k there, another 213 and 303k. There we go. Okay, yeah, so we definitely still could have cleared this with the not the Natlan craftable, the not quite craftable. So I just didn't want to risk it, because it is, I mean, it is an 8% damage increase. I don't think it would have taken off. We definitely still could have full cleared with it. Like I said, I was just being a bit cautious, because like I said, I don't want to bother retrying anymore. So can a free-to-play C0R0 FLINS clear this? Yes, using 2 4-stars. I'll use Jadewing Spear, but you could use the craftable as well. You will be able to clear it. Just make sure you have a good first half and one which matches up well into it, because if you don't, then it's definitely a pain. And if you don't have a Ineffa, then I think Flins will still be able to clear it without an Ineffa, but just Flins' teams sustain-wise just feel really bad without an Ineffa as well. So Flins and an Ineffa are very strong, but other than that, I definitely could see why people will struggle in this abyss. It is definitely one of the biggest character checks we have ever seen, and some of the hardest shitting of brand new characters we have ever seen, which is very annoying, but oh well, what can we do? Anyway, with that being said, let's hop into the character builds and Atra. Alright, well then, as we can see, both teams definitely managed to carry their own weight. Unfortunately, this abyss just has some really stupid enemies, in my personal opinion. Like I said, I am not a fan of how much they're just shilling the lunar mechanics, but oh well, what can we do? I don't think there's much we can do about that. Anyway, when it comes to our character builds, we have our Alhaitham starting off with. Now, he is on Chiori's signature weapon. Like I said, normally I'd use the umbrella on him, but just because I didn't want to deal with some of this abyss's BS, I just decided to go full investment on him, which gives us 72 Core, 223 crit damage, as well as 428 EM and 146.6 ER as well. He is on 2-piece because I just really wanted to use this 50 CV flower we have on him, not flexing whatsoever. And yeah, just kind of the usual you would expect on him. Constellation C0 with triple crown talents. Like I said, would love to use Farina, but couldn't because of that final boss, which meant that we were using Chiori's weapon instead of the umbrella. Anyway, this is how our Xingqiu looks. We do have over 200 ER on him, R5 of the sack sword, artifacts, emblem, of course, as you would kind of expect, just getting as much crit as well as ER as we can. Constellations, he is C6, and then talents are 2, 9, 11. When it comes to our Baizhu, we have a little bit of correct because we do have Fab on him, about 200 ER as well. Like I said, Fab for the white particles to generate stuff for our entire team. He is on depot just so that we can get that danger rush for both Alhaitham's personal damage as well as the hyper bloom damage, triple HP as well as 199 talents. And then for our Kuki, she's on 960 EM, will go up to over 1000 in battle once we add in the set bonus. Iron Sting only level 70, but oh well, at least we get that 1k EM. Like I said, she is on Gilded Dreams as well as triple EM, of course, as you'd expect on a hyperbeam trigger. C4, but it's really only her C2 which changes anything, and then 1 for 1 talents. Finally, when it comes to our second half team, starting off with our Flins, he is on effectively 100% crit rate in battle and 220 crit damage. No ER on him, so we don't really want to use his ultimate, but it's just so difficult not to because of all of the aura points. Like I said, this he is on Jadewing Spear. It would be nice if we could, if I would have put him on the shovel. We definitely still could have cleared with it, like I said, but what can I say? I was just a bit paranoid and did not feel like retrying a million times. These are pieces we have on him right now. Of course, I did do a upload where we showed off us spending 35 fragile resin in order to get him his pieces, and this is what we ended up with. Especially love the circlet here. Constellations C0 and then 189 talents. This definitely would benefit from being crowned, but I just haven't gotten around to that yet, especially because the Abyss keeps shitting him, so I don't need to be honest. This is our Aino right now, 175 ER, basically all we really care about. She is just on 2-piece ER, 2-piece EM. I will put her on instructors eventually, I think, because, you know, she doesn't really do damage, so she's fine with being on instructors. C5, so unfortunately we don't have her C6 to increase our damage even more, 144 talents, but that doesn't really matter. Ineffa as well, 65% crit rate, 175 crit damage, 120 ER. Weapons on a R5 Missile Wind Spear, as well as on 2-piece EM, 2-piece EM. Actually, we did farm some pieces for her, but I just forgot to put her on her new set, which is slightly whoops on my part. So we probably could have cleared a bit faster as well, which is unfortunate. I don't know why, I just completely forgot to put her on that set. 199 talents as well, and then finally Sucrose, 641 EM, 164% ER, as well as on a R5 5 thrilling tales so that our Flint sometimes deals a bit more damage. Viridescent, of course, as you would expect from a animal character, and then C6 with 144 town. So yeah, that's it for our character builds. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know how this abyss went for you, and yeah, see ya.